All right. Hey, everybody. I just thought I would do a quick hangout. Well, not necessarily a quick hangout, but a hangout nonetheless of Veterans Day. What does it mean to me? How do I celebrate it? Things like that. Um, yeah, just I'm doing homework and getting bored and thought I would offer opportunity to ask me questions. So, if you want to, great. If not, that's fine too. I'm just going to be chatting here, kind of going over what Veterans Day means to me and the various things like that. So, minimize or get rid of that. So, one of the many things that I think about with a day like today is one of the many things that I think about when it comes to a day like Veterans Day is not a lot of it is about me, even though that's kind of how we represent it in the US, as it is more of a somber day for me. I think of those that I've never met that have been lost in combat, whether it be any war that the US has served or fought in, or if it's the people lost just in incidences that weren't quote unquote war. I think of the USS Cole. I think of the USS San Francisco, the submarine that ran aground or hit an underwater seamount. Um, I think of those that died in the trenches of World War One, the Great War, the war to end all wars. I think of the men and women who lost their lives in World War II, whether they were civilians or actual combatants. It is just a somber day. Now, I truly hold Memorial Day as my day of remembrance for everybody that's fought and sacrificed. But I don't go out of my way to go get the free meals and things like that are given to us here in the US from businesses to show their support of American troops and sailors and things like that. And I'm not trying to virtue signal here. It I don't I don't need that to be shown respect to. Just respect me for the fact that I served and I did it honorably. And if you want to provide me those services, fine. If I happen to partake in a restaurant or I go to a store and they offer me a discount or whatever, that's fine. I'll take it. But I don't feel like it's an obligation that businesses have to have. So those that do, great. Those that don't, that's fine too. I generally just stay. I generally stay home where I go to work. Occasionally, I will go out to eat. It just depends on what the family wants to do. If you watch me on AT2 Productions channel on YouTube on Friday nights, I'll talk about my service and kind of talk smack about the other services and whatnot, and talk about what I did. And to be honest, that's fine. That's what we're supposed to do as service members with each other. And when the situation's right, I'll bring up my services. I'll bring up what I did in the service and things like that. Like for example, Irate Bear earlier this morning, um, earlier yesterday for him, he did a live stream on YouTube and stream.me, and he was talking about how he stood at parade rest because his service took a toll on his body, um, I held my own little moment of silence at 11:11:11 today, and it's always, how do I wanna put it? I don't wanna call it, like, survivor's guilt or anything, because again, I never went into combat. I was never really truly threatened by the combat that the men and women of the Army and the Marine Corps face, that the Air Force faces, but I did have my own threats, not just, from enemy combatants trying to hunt down a, submarine, but, Mother Nature herself, applying pressure to a a steel surface that is semi-rigid. Um, when I joined and got to my boat, it was literally just a few days before the Kursk incident happened. As a matter of fact, let me see when that was, just to make sure. I might have actually reported to my boat at the same time that happened. Uh, yeah, I reported 5 days before the Kursk incident happened. It was literally 2 days after my 1 year anniversary of being in the Navy. And that made it hard. The, uh, the thought that that could happen to any sub, you know, puts you on edge. Because unlike the unlike the Kursk where it was at, most of the water I was in is in the deep blue water of the world, namely the Pacific. Um, if we go down, there's no saving us. Um, the Russians, I don't know what they were doing. We have our speculations. I'm not going to go into that. But some of those men could have been saved, from what I hear. And the delay by the Russians prevented that. And if I were to be stuck on a submarine that happened to, I would feel betrayed, and it's thinking of moments like that with the it's thinking of moments like that with submarines that, I go back and I'm just a little downhearted, I'm a little perturbed by it. You If you watched our Friday live stream on 82 Productions, Jared's channel, you would you would hear how Bo Holbo was talking about his service, talking about you could hear the tone of his voice that, he was, even amongst us, he was a little reserved in talking about his service. He was talking about his personal traumas that he had to deal with and still deals with to this day. You know, the post-traumatic stress disorders that many soldiers and sailors come back with is not limited to just those that see combat. There are people that deal with other issues, that are dealing with other, how do I want to put this? Other stresses on their mentality that makes it hard, on them. And so we have to as a group and as a society as a whole, remember that these men and women, even though they don't appear physically broken like many, like what you would think for a soldier, missing limbs, um, severe musculoskeletal damage to the point where they're limping, things like that. There are people who walk around everyday life that are veterans that could have PTSD. There are those that go around and don't show anything, but yet when they're alone, that's when they worry the most. You know, Dave Bowman shared one point um, when the ARA San Juan, the Argentinian submarine that was lost earlier this year, I think it was late last year. Him and I have similar dreams where we both go around seeing the I don't want to put it. We both go around in a dream seeing our sub filled with water and our dead brothers, because when we served, it was all male only submarine service. It's it's hard. There are times where I wake up from dreams where, you know, we're fighting a very bad fire. And sometimes I'm in the compartment when they seal it off and flood it. Sometimes I'm outside it. I'm looking through the porthole as I'm the last one out and have to seal it and secure it. Things like that. It's just it's gut wrenching to think about those things. I don't want to speak for all veterans. I don't want to speak for anybody other than myself. But to me, Veterans Day is about remembering not just those that we lost, but those that have survived, whether they were injured or not, whether they were mentally damaged or not, and how how we can celebrate those that didn't make it. It's not trying to find necessarily the silver lining on why you're here, they're not. But it is more so that if you lost a brother or sister in arms, that they would want you to celebrate them. Things like that. So, feel free. Please ask questions if you're watching. Um, please, if you watch this later after the live stream, if you have a question, post it in the comments below. I'll update the description to have my Twitter and my email on there. Please feel free. And please feel free. Ask questions. Come over to the Friday Night Veterans Weekly Hangout on AT2 Productions here on YouTube. It really is just like a bunch of guys, sitting in a bar, sitting in a pub, just hanging out, reminiscing. Other times it's like, talking about an issue or something that affects the veterans community. I know Jared at AT2 Productions talks about 22 Kill. I'm not in the ability to monetize my channel. I've thought about opening up a PayPal specifically for donations and whatnot, and I'm thinking that I might do that. And when it comes time for Memorial Day, when it comes time for Veterans Day, Patriots Day, the 4th of July, things like that, I will probably take whatever donations I get then and donate to worthy charities for veterans. Talking about seeing how people are treated at the VA, and not all VA hospitals are bad. Not all doctors and nurses at VA hospitals are bad people. Sometimes their hands are bound by the bureaucracy that is the federal government. I know Irate Bear was talking about the experiences of veterans by their government as being worse than the U.S. I don't know that that's entirely true because I don't know their experiences, and I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to say one is worse than the other. I know I'm keep referencing Jared's channel, but if you watched any of them, we have Alan in there. He's a Royal Air airman, Royal Air Force member. He's got his issues, things like that. So, I mean, it's just, I thought about inviting everybody on, but I don't know if I am. If they come to me and ask me, sure, I might pass them the link. But I think it would be better if, even if this just ends up being a monologue. I would like to have people ask questions. I'd like to have people, you know, have a conversation with. I know right now that the quote unquote only viewer is myself on the stream, but it is what it is. I can doctor my own I can doctor my own views, I guess, so to speak. But I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on Veterans Day? What is your do you support veterans? Do you hate veterans? Do you feel bad for what veterans go through? Things like that. I mean, it's not. I don't have many many complaints. Hey, Squirrel, you want in? But I'm just sitting here, looking at stuff I've been working on, like for the midterms, covering that. And I just think that as much as politicians lie and connive about things, I think that most of them do have a certain amount of respect for veterans, but not entirely. I can't say if every single one of them does, but I think most do. We'll check Discord. Now I'm going to have to see if I hear you on my stream when you come in. All right. Pop you up. Oh, heck.
Ha! A likely story.
What about politicians there?
Oh, actually, believe it or not, there are a large number of politicians. A likely story. Definitely hear me now.
What about politicians there?
Oh,
It's coming from your side.
Sorry about that. My bad. All right. So what you been up to there, Jay? The whole what you been up to, Jay? Aside from hanging out myself.
Oh, not too much. Trying to work on some homework, but it's just not going anywhere.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
It's for history class, so it's like I can kind of wing it.
Well, some people can wing it. Some people are just really bad at it. I used to piss off my teachers that way. It was hilarious.
Yeah, my sophomore U.S. history class, I had to retake the last semester my senior year because I was much of a smartass in it.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I was well known for my smartassery as well.
It's probably why we joined the Navy.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, there's some interest. There are always some interesting tales. As far as most politicians go, generally I find unless they're way over on the left, all the way off the ragged edge of the left, 99% of the time they have some significant amount of respect for veterans and for soldiers in general. The problem, of course, is there's just enough of the other kind to keep them from helping us out as much as we need.
That is true. That is true. I tend to see it the same way. It's not so much here in Washington State. Patty Murray and both Maria Cantwell both tend to cater to the vets fairly well, which
Well, and then of course we've got a bunch of Dems in our House of Representatives that like to jangle the purse strings really hard when it comes to our National Guard, the Veterans Administration, and of all things, education.
oh, trust me, I know.
What's up with that? I mean,
I have a few customers that come through that work for the Veterans Affairs at an Olympia, so
yeah.
mm.
Well, I've got two kids, and let me tell you, uh, there's some circumstances that I hear about every once in a while. Not necessarily from the kid, although he's given me a couple that have made me want to like chew through deck plate. And one time I almost tried it.
So here's what my topic is for history class.
Hit me.
Voting Rights Act, 1965.
Oh, the Voting Rights Act of 1965. This is the fun one that said that no poll taxes. It said no poll taxes, no literacy tests, no nothing else. If you are a citizen, you can walk through the frickin' door to polling place, cast your ballot, and walk the frack out, and they cannot stop you.
Yep. And I also have, as part of my research, I have this little gem here.
Ooh, gems? Hang on a second. I can't see the gem.
I'm loading it up right now.
Oh, South Carolina versus Katzenbach. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep, it'll serve my purpose.
Oh, I'm sure it will. There was a lot of arguing, actually. What I found absolutely hilarious is not only here, but speaking of voting rights, not only here but in the UK, they managed to find tens of thousands of people, tens of thousands, not people, women that didn't want sovereign franchise. They didn't.
Oh yeah.
They didn't. And a lot of it was fear that they were going to get drafted, because that's a thing. They didn't want to be drafted into the military, and therefore they said, "Well, you know, if it comes to that, we don't want to vote. It's not worth it." They got like 15,000. They got like 5,000 signatures on a thing from the suffragettes, and like 5 or 6 times more than that from just regular women off the street.
Oh yeah, no, I totally get it. I am trying to do some research. I'm just trying to get a couple more topics, but everything I seem to click on doesn't want to give me for the academic journals, doesn't want to let me have the PDF document.
Oh, of course not.
It's not even hidden behind paywalls. That's the worst part.
Well, see, here's the thing. Most of the stuff is behind a paywall initially. 90% of it will, within about 10 years, wind up out in the wild.
Oh, I know.
Depending, of course, on how scrupulous you are. The 10-year-old sources probably aren't going to be the best ones. But what I would suggest actually hunting through through the late 1960s to about the middle of the 1970s to try and find most of the case law that's based on the Voting Rights Act and a couple of other tertiary objects.
Well, I think I figured out my problem. Is it's signed me out of my school library, even though I've only been gone for like 5 minutes from it.
Yeah, it's typical. You know what? That's just the way shit works sometimes, and it drives me insane when that happens too. But
it's all right. I actually I wasn't able to join, but I was able to be a part of Irate Bear's live stream this morning as somebody in the chat. He's a Royal Navy veteran.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why is he showing up on Fridays?
He just found out about it yesterday.
Well, then he needs to get on that.
Yeah, he's been a little how do I want to put this? preoccupied with other streams, and it's kind of upsetting the missus, I guess, a little bit. So he's trying to be accommodating.
Yeah, there is that.
So, and I understand. I basically told him that, if you,
Honestly, I'd love to pick his brain about how I've seen a lot of British Navy folks. I've talked to some of them, but most of them seem to be a little on the tight-lipped side about how things work in the British Navy,
oh
especially
yeah,
when I talk to Americans. I don't get that.
some of it has to do, I think, with um, some of their um, laws dealing with discussion of their
Well, yeah,
roles are a little.
I wouldn't ask anybody to violate confidentiality if they didn't want to.
No, I know none of us would, but it's just sometimes we tend to be a little more free
Open.
flowing with that.
Yeah. We tend to be a little more open. We tend to do lots of other little stuff
Yeah.
that some people would find absolutely abhorrent in terms of information control. But I really would. I'd love to pick his brain.
Yeah, he actually shows the ship that he was on, a picture of the ship he was on.
Really?
Yep. And my nice little comment was, "Oh yeah, look, pretty targets for a submarine."
Yeah.
He just took a nice little chuckle out of that.
There does also tend to be pretty targets for things like, oh, I don't know, bombs. I much
Yeah.
prefer to be a smaller, more mobile target than some things.
Oh, I don't know why you'd want to do that.
But bird farms are nice and spacious, but
He was
speaking of submarines, you gonna be up for Tuesday or no?
actually looking at my schedule, I have to be to work at 2:15, so and it takes me about a half an hour drive, and I usually leave here about between 12:45 and 1:15 to make sure I'm there on time. 30 minutes early to be on time,
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how much you. It depends on how much you want to trim it. But yeah, live streams generally tend to start about noon.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I've been watching that with you, and let's see. There's Irate Bear's video from today in the YouTube chat. I'll post it in our Discord.
I'm not even looking at the YouTube
No,
stream.
no, I know. I'm gonna go post it in. I'm gonna go post it in our veterans hangout.
I'm wondering why you haven't been. I'm wondering why you haven't used the content creators posting place over in the lair.
Most of that. Most of the time, I just don't even think about it because
You should do that, especially for this stream. Go do that now.
now I gotta go pull up that one.
Excuse me a moment. I'm going to go damage some people.
Common sound from the Friday night streams. All right. Promote my content. Veterans Day stream with just to annoy him. Tag him in the post too. All right. So
Anyway, as I was gonna say earlier, usually the support for vets tends to be politically on the right.
oh yeah, I know that.
Also, if you get a politician that's actually spent time in the military and has at least understood that the conflict was going on while they were on or while they were in, then you get a lot more respect from them.
Oh yeah, no,
That tends to be nonpartisan.
I wish here in Washington we would have more representatives, like federal representatives, as well as local state representatives that were veterans that served in a recent conflict.
Well,
and by recent I mean anything first Gulf War towards now. You know what I mean?
Well, again, I would, you know what, I would if I was going to go for a president, for a president or a major political figure right about now, I'd be looking for somebody that went out into the suck about the same time I did back in the early to mid '90s. And of
That's
course, I stayed there for a lot longer than most people, but still.
I understand that, and that's kind of where I look for it too. But you can't find many politicians federally um, or locally that are veterans here in this state that are
Well,
willing to run, I should say.
you're not finding many at the federal level anyway. Especially when you talk about, and I'm gonna get hammered for this. I know I'm gonna get hammered for this. Anybody, this is your trigger warning. If there's anybody out there that wants to be triggered or likes to be triggered, content may offend the easily offended. Since we started seeing more female politicians, the ratio of veterans to not veterans has gone way down.
I find it actually funny that we had 2 or 3 female veterans that didn't win this time
Yeah, I
around.
know. And actually, we're seeing in a lot of places the veterans period not winning.
Yep. And,
That Vietnam era attitude where guys who'd come home and be called baby killers and shit.
yeah,
That attitude is still very common here.
it very much is.
And Shamika Al Abdullah. I'm not going to say that's actually. I'm not going to say that's entirely true, but it depends on who you're talking about. If you're talking
Yeah.
about our vets, that's not true. If you're talking about California or Californians, then absolutely that's true. With
I don't
people
know.
that have spines, most of them.
I don't know. I've met a few people from California that were actually decent.
I've seen a few. I've met a few. I even have had a chance to hang out with a bunch of them. But you know what? The overwhelming majority of those folks from the last that have been born in the last about 30 years,
Yeah.
some of those people really, really, really make me want to vomit.
I totally understand.
No.
Yeah, I need
It's
one
like that.
more source.
It's like that one Ocasio Cortez out of New York.
Yeah. Don't get me started on her.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, she's somebody else's problem at the moment, but she is not prepared to be a politician.
But she's not.
Really not. What she needs to do is go to school, learn some political science, some economics, and then apply for that job.
Yeah.
And
And that's
this
just
time last year, she was a freaking bartender.
yeah. I like how she's not able to get to DC without
Oh, she can go. She just doesn't have an office to sleep in yet, and it's not an uncommon thing.
No, I know. And I think it's time to put somebody in a timeout.
Uh-oh.
It's a troll account. I know it is. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, they'll come back in a couple minutes on the next one.
Oh, I know.
I thought it was Muslims that was saying that we have no balls.
Yep.
Yeah. He probably busy calling me a liar. There's a reason I don't pay attention to chats in somebody else's hangouts.
I just don't even care. Like I said, this is about being able to just be honest with the people about what it is to be a veteran, and how to kind of go about respecting those in your life.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Hey, Resist, how's it going? Got any questions for this topic?
Do I have any questions for this topic?
No. Resist the Flat Earth 17. He's the young guy that comes into the Jared's hangouts to ask questions and stuff.
Well, welcome to ask any questions you like. Might even answer them.
Oh, I wonder if we got another troll account here. Ingrid Troutman. More women in politics is a good thing. We need less war and more trans rights. You're coming to the wrong hangout if you're going to be asking those questions. I have no problem with trans rights, but
who does?
But here's
Who does?
but here's the thing. If you're gonna come into a veterans hangout and start talking like that, you might as well just move on.
Honestly, less war is a good thing, but then people don't understand what war is about. They really don't, because war isn't about us going out there just to be violent for no reason. A warrior is a scalpel, as opposed to a thermonuclear device of some significant size.
Are you anti-LGBTQA plus rights? No, I'm
No,
not.
I'm not either.
I believe in the basic human principle of treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect.
Actually, I prefer it as live and let live. If
exactly.
You guys, and when the gay rights thing came around here in Washington State, I'll be honest with you, or the gay marriage thing here in Washington State, when that came around, I voted for it. In fact, I had some friends that were out that were in that position. They wanted to do that thing, and they asked me if I wanted to come out and hold a sign for them. I did.
I had a few friends that were opposed to it and family members. I thumped them upside the head for it. But resist flat earth. Which branch of the service did you talk to a recruiter? JJ Hill, that's great to hear. JJ's grandson is a transvestite that serves.
Hey, you know what? More power to him.
Yep.
Him, her, whatever, whichever. I don't care.
Yeah.
More power to him.
Oh, resist is going Marines, I guess. Well, somebody's got to eat crayons, I guess.
Yep. Uncle Sam's Misguided Children, USMC, or My Ass Rights and Navy Equipment Sergeant. and just to show we have a little bit of a balance here, never again volunteer yourself.
Yeah, right, yep, I shared that on the non-sec stream with the military guys an hour or so ago.
That's one of my favorites. One of my personal favorites.
Yep, that and what is it? Muscles are required, intelligent not essential. Intelligence not essential. Yeah.
Let's see. Uncle Sam ain't retired my ass.
Yeah. Let's see.
We don't actually have any good ones. We don't have any really good ones that we could use for the Air Force that wouldn't drive some people nuts. I just generally refer to them as chair farce and get it over with.
Oh yeah, no, I had a chair force that coming through today at work, and I kind of gave him the look over, and he's like, yeah, I know. I've already been out to have my breakfast and lunch. I'm going to dinner later tonight. Like, you lazy son of a. Resist is also going to be talking to the Navy recruiter if it makes me feel any better.
Well, I recommend very strongly that you pay attention to what either of them say. Generally speaking, recruiters and politicians have one thing in common.
They stretch the truth.
No. It's incredibly easy to tell whether or not they're lying to you. Short version, their lips are moving.
Yep. Just
okay. This guy will lie to you to get this guy or gal will lie to you to get you to sign a piece of paper. And if you hear something totally outlandish, all you have to do is you look him straight in the face and say citation needed. And they usually back up.
Yeah. If they say they're going to guarantee you, a particular duty station, a particular job that's not like the Marine Corps, Air Force, or Army, demand that in writing. They will back away really quick.
The sad part is my Navy recruiter actually managed to put 2/3 of what he had to say in writing.
Oh yeah, no, they try to, but when you ask for the single word guarantee into it, they back away.
A straw.
right? I served. It's about 40% LBGT in the military nowadays. I am no homo. I'm assuming this is supposed to be but it says bi. LGBT have good object precognition and small hands. That's not
Uh,
necessarily true, Ray.
and we do actually seem to, there are some cases in some places where certain varieties of LGBT actually can get themselves into trouble.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes it really does come down to biology. Generally, the L, the G, and the B aren't a problem. It's the T that can get you, because
And
especially when you're talking about, say, a transman in combat. That
yep.
doesn't go well, ever.
And, and like I've said before, I have no problems with anybody serving as long as they do it with honor and conviction that they're doing the right thing. It's when you're doing it under the pretense of getting surgeries done, when you're trying to do it just for medical reasons. I mean, I joined the Navy to get college money, but I also did it with the intent that if the opportunity arose and I really enjoyed it, I would make a career out of it. So,
well, the opportunity was there, but that's, yeah, enjoying it tends to turn into the problem. My little brain says, I don't care who you are, what color you are, what you do behind closed doors or anything else. If you can do the job at least as well as I can,
if not
or
better,
any other person that would normally be there, then you are certainly welcome to hang. And
yep,
I'll be honest with you. I actually, well, while I was out for a while there, had a mixed gender group.
yep.
And the ladies, they actually brought something to the table.
Yeah, Josh, I understand that, but I've also seen women with bigger hands than most men that I know. So, counterpoint, it's not going to matter. The whole point of this conversation is not about the rights of others to serve in the military. It's just an informal hangout. I like how I'm being co-opted into all this, but whatever.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, like I said a minute ago, I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care about any of the rest of that crap. If you can do the job and you do it the way you do the things that you were ordered to do without kicking up a huge fuss about how your rights are being violated or what the hell ever, because there's I will get into that misconception here in a minute. I don't care. Otherwise, you just come get some. Here's your ammo. Here's your kit. Let's go. We're taking a hike.
Yeah.
It's over. Well, the fun thing that you some people don't get, and here's the thing that anybody that wants to join the military needs to be aware of. Okay, you go out and you get yourself a sunburn to the point where you cannot work. And I know, Jay, you didn't do this. You didn't have the opportunity most of the time. You can and will be charged. You're at least going to go to captain's master or other similar Article 15 provision. You will appear before your CO for damaging government equipment.
Yep.
Okay. Your ass literally belongs to the military until your contract is concluded.
Yep. We had a guy go snorkeling in Hawaii when we pulled in. We were there for like almost a week. The first time I was there after we did our tactical readiness evaluation, or TRE. And he went snorkeling in Hanama Bay and forgot to bring sunscreen. Oh, that was.
I know he was told about that.
Oh yeah, Doc helped him out because this was like day 4. Like I said, we were there about a week, like a full 7 days. So Doc put him on limited duty, below decks watch, things like that, and just kept him covered in aloe vera for the rest of that time. He was not happy because he had tickets to go to Hawaii football practice at that point, preseason practice.
I see Mr. Buto has arrived.
Has he?
Yes, hello, Jared.
Hello, sorry I forgot to change my Hangouts audio settings back to the standard.
Whoops.
He's not used to being a guest on a show. He's used to being the host.
Yeah, you're right. What's up with that? But then I'm mostly used to being the host too, except that I have my own channel for that. And I usually don't talk much about veterans things.
I just figured with it being Veterans Day, and I haven't done anything political all week really, other than the Jim Acosta thing. I might as well do a veterans thing today, and especially since I won't be there this Friday anyways for the Veterans Hangout.
Why not, man?
The household general says we're going on date night, so I had to say
right. Nope, that's all I had to hear. You could stop the general, and I would have been fine. I knew exactly what that's about. Nope,
Big boss speaks. You must listen.
It's a simple aye and make sure it happens. We're going to be going to see the new Fantastic Beasts movie, so that'll be fun.
Well, it sounds like fun. As opposed to watching Star Wars Plan 9 from Star Wars. Yeah.
I watch all the Star Wars stuff. I don't follow. I try to take the Star Wars movies as what they are, not try to read into them. But I do see the things that people talk about, especially when it comes to the social justice stuff. But I try not to let it bother me. To see if the actual story is worth watching and stuff.
Well, honestly, Episode 8 was a shit film in my opinion. Because you could have watched that. You can watch that movie every day without question. All you have to do is post your ass over by the Hollywood sign with a pair of binoculars and watch the damn freeway. That's it. That's all it was. Low speed chase on the LA freeway.
Yep, I understand. And I am going to remove you, Billy, because I don't want to deal with you today. We're not talking flat Earth on this channel.
No, this is a flat Earth channel. If you want to talk flat Earth, go see Cy. He'll hook you up.
Or come to my channel on pretty much any day.
Oh yeah, no, I just like I said, I'm trying to keep this as pretty much respectful as possible about Veterans Day and not too much other stuff, Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw in the chat, Resist the Flat Earth has talked to a Marine recruiter.
I'm still going to say he should go Navy. He should really go Navy.
Well, he is also scheduled to meet with the Navy, from what I can see in the chat.
Yes, he is. So we'll give him a hard time till he goes and sees the Navy recruiter.
Yeah.
And if he joins the Air Force, we will give him thorough shit until he actually puts on the uniform and passes boot camp.
And then he'll get even more.
Because anybody from a real service that's wandering around him anywhere is going to give him shit.
Well, and now he's not joining the Coast Guard.
That's what I was going to say. If he joined the Coast Guard, we'd really have some issues.
Yes, but unfortunately, Chair Farce is pretty much the military version of, well, yeah.
Having actually been on a few of their bases for land-based deployments, they do have a crucial part. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck the Coast Guard does and how they fit into it.
They wander around within 3 miles of shore, and you have to be at least X amount tall so that you can wade in when your cutter sinks. Pretty much all that is. There's actually a height requirement. There's a height requirement for the Coast Guard. You have to have your head. You have to have your head above water. At ranges up to 3 miles from shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's an old joke.
Yeah, we still gave the Coast Guard Academy crap and gratin though for it, so it's all right.
Well, the sad part of it is the bulk of the coasties that I've ever met, they take that shit with good humor. They've heard it all before.
I
They
have a
after the first about 6 months that they're in, they get over it, and it just okay, dude, whatever.
Well, because they are so close to the sub base in Groton, they get it from day one.
exactly.
Yeah,
there's no avoiding it down there.
My personal favorite though is I have a I want to say he was a boatswain's mate, senior chief that retired from the Coast Guard that comes into my store frequently. And anytime he sees me, he walks right back out.
Oh damn! Okay, that guy sounds like that guy sounds like he's got an admiral sized chip on his shoulder there.
No, he goes back out and gets his Coast Guard hat and puts it on,
and then comes in.
He comes in because he's got his gold foul anchor and everything, you know, for their chief's insignia, and he's just like, you missed a spot over there. I'm like, sorry, Chief, you don't have your coffee cup. I can't take orders from you.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, I used to have a an old diesel boat senior chief that would come in all the time. He was a electrician's mate. Crusty old salt. He found out that I was on a boomer, and he was just like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, and by the way, whack.
Yeah. By the way, it is always open on when we're doing something serious like veterans and whatnot. When it's politics, like general politics, if we're doing a live stream, by all means, whack away. Or you can converse with them if you want to in the politics. I don't care. But today we're veterans and.
Okay, gents, got one for you. What's long and hard and full of semen?
Well, it does submarine. Although is that entirely true nowadays? Not that I'm opposed to women being on board, but
oh no, it still is. It just tweaks the couples number on return from a deployment.
Don't you mean it tweaks how many cooks are on board afterwards?
All that too.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing about.
No, there's only one woman in the subservice currently, and I think she's a full lieutenant.
Oh no, there's a whole bunch of them. There's officers and enlisted now.
Yeah, they began with the officers because they figured it was easier to give them their own berthing space.
Yeah.
It just sucked on the Ohio class submarines because the officers only have one head. So whenever the women were in there taking a shower, if you were a gentleman, now granted on an Ohio class submarine on forward compartment second level, there's a small head that you can, if you're not too tall, you can actually use fairly comfortably. And when I mean too tall,
so it's outboard.
Oh yeah, it's outboard, and it's let me put it this way: if you're shorter than 5'5", it's pretty comfortable. Anything taller than that, you kind of have to work yourself.
So,
and if you have to take a shit in there, it's comfortable until you go to stand up.
Kapunk every damn time. Well, on the upside, the villages are easier to clean that way.
Oh no. There are times where in control, the officer of the deck, the quartermaster, the dive officer, we can't get a head break. There's a few outboard scuppers that were a little greener than others. Seawater reacts very well to making verdigris when some human components are added to it.
Yeah, no shit. Actually, almost any biological tissue will do that.
I know, but it's really fun when you're doing sharp turns at high speed, in the dark, near periscope depth, and you're doing about a 15 to 20 degree bank, trying to aim into that scupper. So,
oh no, that's when you get away from the hatch that goes in there.
Well, the thing is the scupper is about 4 feet off the ground, off the deck itself. So, and there are times where some of them, there's another one that's outboard the opposite side that you could actually, in theory, hit from the con if the CIP plot is moved. Yeah, it was fun. Oh. Ooh, NASA engineer day 48, defending the Earth.
Ooh, what are we at? Are we actually having a knockdown, drag out brawl in the freaking chat now?
Sorta. Jared and I are playing Whack-A-Troll. So,
you know what I have there's a question that flat earthers never seem to want to answer, and that's how thick is the Earth. They don't want to answer it at all, ever.
It's because they can't, obviously, but.
Well, you know, if the Earth is flat, then if the Earth is flat, it must have a thickness.
I understand.
Go with a two-dimensional plane because it doesn't work.
Who was it I was watching earlier this week or was it last week I was watching? They were basically posing the same question, and they're trying to figure out the if you took just the average pancake, how thick it is, and then scaled it up to what the Earth is supposed to be. I want to say it was Simon Dan, but I can't.
Well, you got to figure we haven't managed to drill down far enough anywhere to come out the other side and get water.
Or magma.
Well, magma. See, if the Earth was actually flat, magma wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't. We wouldn't have that.
Well, I'm just saying for proof of
wait. Why are you talking about the red hot magma?
And sorry, I forgot your sharks with lasers. They're back order on Amazon.
Damn it! I just wanted sharks with freaking lasers on their heads.
Yeah, we're actually apparently Amazon got in touch with us, and somehow or another they're having a problem getting the mounts to work properly.
That we're also trying to make sure that they don't have just any old response will set off the lasers.
Yeah, apparently wiring the lasers to the actual brain bands doesn't work very well.
Okay, now I'm getting a custom meats. Edis Custom Meats is a retail meat market beef jerky manufacturer and custom processing plant in Amarillo, Texas. Whack.
What?
Oh, I'm gonna read the rest of it.
Go right ahead. You have the option to.
Yeah. I'm not gonna read it aloud. I'm just curious.
Oh, then if you're that curious, then share with the class.
It's just a glorified attempt at an ad.
I mean, if they were going to pay me to have the ad, I'd be okay with it. But
and we don't have Brooke here, who we all know is the sausage and aficionado.
Yeah,
but I'd also want tornado pellet because I do need a bacon aficionado too.
Well, actually, I thought that was tornado with the bacon fleshlight.
Yeah, this was saying.
Yes, bacon, but keep in mind, Brooke is the one with the habit of eating sausage right before movie night.
Oh God. Yeah, I remember that.
The deepest hole ever drilled by mankind.
Yep.
You mean it wasn't in your mom?
No, it wasn't in my mom. I was going to say it was in your mom, but that doesn't look right either. Oh,
not enough gape there.
No. I was listening to Lords of the Night yesterday, Ranting Monkey. They were talking about a woman who had her 21st child. Guess how long she was in labor for?
30 seconds.
12 minutes.
Yeah, after a while, it tends to get a lot easier.
Yeah, after a while, they just go ahead and start walking out.
Yeah, I mean they brought it up because Monkey just had a second grandchild. So That's what it was brought up. That's why it was brought up into their stream. It was pretty funny because they were just all like, how does that even work? And then they went on to the Duggars and all that jazz. So
yeah, I was going to ask if someone brought them up.
yeah,
You have to. Although I think she was only able to push 19.
yeah, but the rest of the family still follows the tradition too. Yeah, but
Actually, not all of them. I hear Josh is now persona non grata there.
yes, well,
for good reason too.
Very good reason.
Oh, who's doing it?
But let's see here. Russian diamond mine largest road hole. It's okay. That was not an actual diamond mine hole, you guys. Oh. Why do I click on the stupid things on the internet?
Because you're a masochist who can't help himself.
Yeah, there is that.
It's the same reason. It's the same reason we all turn up for movie night every so often.
Oh, I gotta pull up that GIF. Holy crap, that was funny.
Which one was that?
The one you asked me about and that I told you on Discord, Squirrel.
Oh, okay.
You can actually see it.
All right,
what was it? Do I have it saved in my history? That's the real question.
If not, you should have it in Discord in the messages to me.
Yeah, I think I did send that to you, didn't I? Come on, you stupid.
Actually, yeah.
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
Different one?
It's a different one. No, I'm not talking about the tornado. That one was like last week. This one was
no.
Did they send it to Sai?
No, the one for tornado was just a few days ago. Was just this past week's show.
I don't see one.
Oh, I guess it was. No, but that's not the one I was talking about. There's a different one.
Do you mean the one that I put in? The one I put in on Friday?
Did you put it in? I don't know.
I put one in. I put one in on. I put one in Friday night during the stream.
Oh God,
Peter
and Physicist had a lot of fun with the Jilly Juice screen cap.
You know what? I saw that earlier today. No, it says yesterday at 12:37 a.m. The one with the two dogs.
So I can tell it's been a while since I've been in radioactive meme land on that server because so I go in there. The most recent message on the screen is from October 20th, and it's from Mr. Nielsen. Bite something. I'm going in dry.
Oh,
that's always fun.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, the radioactive meme land was my idea. Somebody had actually asked for a meme channel, and I went, okay. So I typed them up. So I typed up the radioactive meme land. It was great. I know on my channel it's actually, or on my server it's
the Great Meme Wars.
Great Meme Wars, yeah. Just because that entire clutch of them is sort of Kekistan themed.
Yep. Let's see here.
You know, I'm actually lying in wait for someone to try to pick an actual fight in the server.
In yours?
Yeah.
Oh, it gets pretty close sometimes.
You see that thing under politician debates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They will get the combatants will be grounded to that space. And everybody else gets to watch and giggle and have a grand old time.
There's Graham Chapman in the image. Where are the bloody...
Oh, you got that video too? I'm taking a look at my server now. Well, my section of the server.
I'm kind of wondering why you guys put that together, except to kind of keep things moving around.
So it really is twofold. So we consolidated with other channels for a combined server hub to bring more attention to each other's subscriber base about the channels that we all run, since we're all really in similar molds, but enough differentiates. Yeah, enough differences that we are our own separate channels on YouTube, but closely enough in content type that it makes sense to ease the way of getting the information out for the subscribers of other channels.
You see, now y'all did invite me.
Well,
This is the meme I shared.
There are many.
Or the GIF.
Nice.
And my parting words were, this does not apply to anybody here on the panel or in the chat.
Yeah.
None of us are saying that go through movie night.
No, if you can survive movie night, there's something wrong with you.
I've done it. The sad part of it is, unlike some of you people, I've actually had to do it sober.
I've done it sober.
I did one sober, and I vowed never again.
I'll be honest with you. If I could afford to not do it that way, I would. Because
yeah, I try not to as well, but sometimes it just can't help it. Like this last Friday, I had to do it sober because of having to be having to be up at 3:30 in the morning to get ready for work.
Yeah, by the way, that Zoom conferencing thing not going to get used again.
I hope not.
No, he already said it was a one-off thing.
Yeah, he told the show that. Yeah. So what's next? Go to meeting or go to webinar?
Yeah, he's going to do webinar.
Yeah, I was looking at the restream.
It worked for him for a long time, and then that was the end of that.
Wrong screen. Oh. Sargon reloaded his live stream from earlier today, I guess.
Yep.
No, it's the issues between him and Meta. What's that name? Medicare. Yeah.
Mr. Medicare.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of BS.
AKA Internet Aristocrat, AKA Fucktard Central.
Oh, now I'm curious as to what Resist put there that he retracted.
You know, we can't find out. We have no way to know.
Yeah.
Unless we were paying attention.
Naval aviation as far as like enlisted, or are you talking going to school to become a pilot through either ROTC or whatever? Because honestly, I don't have a problem with anybody joining anything in the military whatsoever. Just our motto in the Navy is choose your rate, choose your fate. And the same would apply to officers. Choose your job that you want to do. Just make sure it's what you want to do. I don't know how Jared feels about that logic, but
Oh no, it is entirely spot on. I was gonna say if you were going Navy and not looking at going special operations, so doing traditional Navy, you could say, then I would highly recommend the aviation side because fighter pilot. All right. So you being a high school athlete helps. But how are your academics? That is going to be crucial.
And how's your vision?
Vision, you can be correctable vision, but you have to be ample enough in all the other categories for them to justify the investment.
Exactly. That's why I was bringing it up.
Yeah, because I'm going to assume physical standards are not going to be an issue. Your fighter pilots typically are operating on their own, So you're doing the job of the pilot, the navigator, weapons officer, and flight engineer if you're a single man crew.
3.2 GPA average. That's borderline for most officers, like high-end officer stuff.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah, you would pretty much have to work your ass off either in college through OCS, or if you manage to get into the academy, you would have to work your fucking ass off and be towards the top of the class to get that. But here's the thing. All that will get you is into flight school. How you do in flight school will then determine whether the Navy is going to put you towards the F-18 or towards the E2, the C2, or helos. That's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that going the officer way, you don't get to pick your ultimate specialty. You get put into a group, and then how you perform during your training will determine where the Navy wants to put you. So you can very well get towards the naval aviator or naval flight officer path, because they do start out the same.
Yep.
And how you perform during your initial stages of that second phase of training is what will determine what platform you would have offered to you.
And if you are offered a platform, don't turn it down.
What the?
Well, here's the thing. Oftentimes they'll offer you two, or if they know you want the fighter platform, the fighter training, if they're going to offer that to you, they will only offer you that and say, we have selected you for this program. But if you're not selected for that, they're going to tell you the primary. And if it's not to be the combat flight crew, if it's going to be supply flight crew or electronic warfare, there's no sense in asking for fighters, because they either A, don't have the slots, or B, they don't think you could hack it.
Hey, what does this look like on the screen?
Oftentimes, more often than not, it's C, both.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they could have the slots available, but not think you're a fit for it and not offer it to you that way.
Yeah, I wanted to go, just as an example in my field, in the enlisted side, the submarine electronics computer field, or SECF. They had the option of, ET radio, ET nav, FT, and ST, and all of them are available to you upon arrival at sub school. But you put down what you want, and then from there they decide where you're going to fit. There's no guarantee that you're going to get what you wanted. There are guys who wanted at Sonar Tech. There are guys that wanted FT that got what they wanted. I wanted to be a radioman. I got Nav ET. I think for me, ultimately, it was better, but it is what it is.
Well, and that's where I lucked out when I got down to Pensacola. I was so at the time I was going through, and it's still kind of the case. It's just they handle A school training a little differently now. But your intermediate level and squadron level ATs and your AE rate, the first 8 weeks are the same course for all three. It's after that point you go into the second phase of the A school, which is called Strand, where you are either an AE and squadron level AT, which is box repair, box troubleshooting. So you troubleshoot the entire bird down to the system. You troubleshoot the system to an individual box, or what is
component.
Officially no, not the components.
Well,
the official terminology is a WRA,
okay.
a weapons replaceable assembly.
Right. Okay.
That box is then removed from the aircraft and then sent to the intermediate level guys, me, and we troubleshoot the box down to the individual components. Well, in my shop, we did.
Right. I get what you're saying. We
And-
kind of do a little bit of everything on our side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They
because
do.
because of that difference, so the AE and squadron level AT schools were only another 10 weeks after the core, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Whereas mine was twice that.
So I gotta ask, which Pete or Peter is in the top of this, and which one's the ass?
Honestly, I don't know which one is which, but I'm guessing it's the one without the glasses that's the head.
That was it was too priceless not to jump on that one. So
But so I got lucky.
Here I was thinking they were both the ass.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing with the way they did the different strand options when I was going through A school. If you were top 2 Navy or Marine in the class, you got to pick which strand you went to. Otherwise, you were stuck with what the class was slated for. My class was slated for eye level. I was either number 1 or number 2. The points were so close. All I remember is we were given the option. Now, and I asked, "Is like, well, what is the class slated for? Oh, it's slated for ATI. So you're gonna stay here and be over in that section."
Ooh.
I'm like, nope, that's exactly what I wanted. I'm good.
I think they gave number 3 a choice.
I found a new one for the slideshow, Jared.
Wait.
Hey.
No, there is a second option. And that's sending out the moss and then turning the other way.
I'm actually trying to find that ballast control one that I had.
Hey Jared, do you have Jay? Do you actually have any kind of static days off?
Generally, right now it's Friday and Saturday to allow me to do the veterans hangout and movie night and then recover.
I'll tell you what. How's about rather than Tuesday? Because I've got a couple more games to do. We do a special one on. Maybe I'll do a special one on Friday. We'll get to hang out for a couple of hours as opposed to like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what time we're heading into town because the friend we're going with, it was her birthday yesterday, and we're gonna go with her Friday. It's not till after 6 p.m., so I'm sure I can.
If I'm going to do a stream on Friday, it will be at noon.
Well, I'm sure it is. I'm just letting you know. Just fine.
Yeah, no, we'll be done. I'll be done long before then. I usually only stream 2 hours anyway. Hey, Jared.
Oh, the fucking vigilante.
Jared.
Yeah.
You want to join in too?
3 o'clock Friday. If I'm able, I'll be out of class, but the question is what's going on at work.
Yeah, well, there's always that. No, do you know what it's about?
I heard gaming. So
it is a game, actually. Believe it or not, it's the newly released game Kursk, wherein we're going to spend most of our time on a freaking submarine, and we want to look at kind of what's actually realistic.
Oh,
because it claims to be based on an actual submarine by that name that went down a long time ago. Well,
I watched
long.
Back during the 90s.
No, it was 2000.
It was early 2000s, yeah.
It was 2000.
It was 2000, you're right.
August 12th, 5 days after I reported to the boat. 2 days after my 1-year anniversary in the Navy.
Ooh.
Here's another one for the...
Oh, that is so true. Wait, go back one.
U-995 German submarine. Yep.
We actually have a few of those at various cities that you would not think they would be there. German submarines. It's crazy.
Oh, there's lots of that kind of thing.
This one's always in bad taste, but I can't help but laugh at it.
So it's in perfect taste?
No. Well, perfect Navy taste. We'll go with that, or military taste. But
well, to be honest, we got a room full of squid, so I don't think it really matters. But yeah, no, we're gonna play Kursk, and I'm gonna play Kursk, and you get to wander around and have a look at the inside of the submarine.
One guy in the microphone starts singing.
Apparently, the whole fleet was based on the Kursk and
yeah, I actually watched the trailers for that. The second trailer is pretty graphic.
Which one? Oh, for seriously? Oh man, yes. Honestly, I should not be surprised. It does actually sound about right.
Looks about right too.
Yeah.
All right.
But the second one is basically a slow motion video through the control from sonar to the control room to the torpedo room where the accident happened. Yeah. When you get to the guy looking through the glass from the torpedo room compartment, pay very close attention to his face.
Hang on. Go back to that.
Pull that back one. Obama secretly your container leased. What?
No. I'm looking at the top part.
It is one of the ports for the Kings Bay boats.
Huh.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
It is,
and it's not far away from
Kennedy.
The Kennedy Air Force Base. So I'm possibly going to be there in a month.
But I like this. Rostec owns company that exports containers that carry undetectable nuclear missile systems. No.
Nuclear missile systems are typically not undetectable.
Yeah, they kind of have this thing called a decay signature.
Yeah.
Not to mention we all have our own how shall I put it?
One part of it is that decay signature can usually tell you what lab it was processed in.
Still my favorite meme to poke fun at the Air Force.
Yes, there are more. Shocked. Well, I can say that about the Air Force. The Army tends to want to think about that a little differently.
Oh, there we go.
Oh God. Now, was it a llama or an alpaca?
That's an alpaca, I think. I'm pretty sure that's an alpaca.
Let's see if we can zoom in and get a good look at it. Yeah, it looks like an alpaca.
An alpaca.
A lot of difference. Both the average person couldn't tell anyway.
Yeah,
I've seen alpacas and llamas together. Usually, a llama is a bit thinner around the barrel and shorter. Also, not quite as fuzzy.
Oh, the Italians.
Oh, jeez.
So sad.
As a neighbor from hell. Can I keep this in your garden? No. Most kind. Thank y'all.
Navy Nuke School. That's about right.
Yeah.
I wonder if Karis could confirm this. We'll save that and send it to her. And if she doesn't give me the correct answer, then we know she never went.
Like an Uber, but from Marines.
Submarine cat emerges from the sea of clothes.
Oh wow. If you're a Somali pirate, they may be the last boobs you ever see. Yeah.
No, not maybe. Will be.
Shut the fuck up, Carl.
Should probably send that one to Main Gun. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Oh, it'd be interesting to see what he sends in response.
Fuck you, Jared. Don't worry, I can pilot a submarine.
Who was that?
I don't know.
I don't know who he was, nor is it important. He plays for the Cardinals.
No,
Oh, that's the Angels.
No,
the Los Angeles
yeah,
Angels of Anaheim. Now that's how it's pronounced. All right, let's see here. Change up my search options here. Submarine. So easy. The Air Force. There we go.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. My division was responsible for all of the electronics on this.
My condolences.
And this. And the
Yeah,
and the
I especially wanted to get the subbies for this live stream because that shit would rule.
I saw Schubert in the non-sec stream earlier today.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm like, where the hell has he been?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I asked him how everything's going. He says good. So, and I said, you know, haven't seen you in the Jared show. Missed you around. Having you around. No response.
You know, I used to send the join link to him on Facebook directly, and he was on the Discord server. I wonder if he just forgot about how to use it.
Quite possible.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, I know some of these people can be pretty dim.
Let's see. There's a bad boat.
Was that
I want to say that. Yeah, it's either an Alpha or a Kula.
Yeah, it's a Soviet boat either way, an old Russian boat.
Hey, the P3. I used to work on that.
Oh, you mean the plane that can't hear shit for sonar? Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's of its own engines.
I know they're loud as you can hear them through sonar sometimes. They get low enough, yeah. That was my favorite thing. We were in Pearl doing the TRE, and I was in sonar doing my checkout for it when all the broadband operators are pulled off their headphones. They're like, "What?" The soup flips it on. You just hear the engine just going over, and then it's con sonar. We've been buzzed by a P3. Got it. And they have the sonar display up in control, and the officer's like, "Is it on this bearing?" I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, okay, captain of the bridge or to the control, you know. And we're just like, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "What's going on?" "Yeah, we just got buzzed by a P3. We don't think they found us yet." 20 minutes later, coming back to the opposite direction.
Of course, they're still
a little closer this time, though.
Makes me wonder how the Poseidon has actually been doing the P8.
Oh yeah,
because I wasn't sure if they would actually be able to get close enough to the same loiter time, but apparently they did. They got close enough.
This is funny. The U.S. Air Force wants to deploy Arsenal planes to improve the F-35's limited firepower.
What?
And then they go
with the Michigan, Ohio, Florida, or Georgia.
And so they want to do in-flight reloading. They want to in-flight rearm an aircraft.
No.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing I can think that they would use an arsenal plane for.
Ooh, C-17.
You know, actually, they have those over here at Joint Base Lewis McChord. They got lots of them.
Yeah, they do.
We've actually got the West Coast only airlift command, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and Airlift likes to commandeer civilian aircraft for personnel transfers.
Yep. As a matter of fact, they do that. They do that so often around here that Boeing actually has several aircraft just hanging out that stay in their hangars for the most part, just for some point in time where the Air Force might decide they need it.
Yep.
No, really. Boeing actually has several of their,
I know.
Their prototype aircraft they use for this purpose.
I know. I pay attention to what Boeing does around here. My best friend's little brother works for the FAA as an engineer, and one of their mutual friends is an electrical engineer at the FAA too, which is pretty funny. So I just sit there and give them crap whenever they have their sequestrations and stuff like that. I'm like, so how does it feel not to get paid for another 40 days or so? Like, shut up.
Shut up. Just shut up.
Especially when I was working for the post office when they were talking about that last sequestration in 2017. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get paid either way. They're like, well, we will too. I'm like, yeah, about
eventually
40 days or so. And the response is always just shut up.
Yep. And I know what they're thinking at this point. This is not the stop for the short bus, dickhead.
And yet they just don't realize that it is. Let's see here.
Well, yeah, and then the post office is its own. The post office is its own thing.
Yeah, I know. That's always fun. You would not believe. You would believe how many veterans are actually in the postal service.
Mr. Brown,
what's up?
For the thing, the post office does indeed get money from the United States government.
How so?
It's called franking privileges.
Franking privileges?
Franking. You can every Congress critter, every elected official.
Oh, okay, yeah, no,
you sign a letter in lieu of a stamp, and every time that happens, the federal government pays what is it? I think it's 10% over.
Yes,
the stamp.
What I was getting at is that it's budget. The entire budget is not run off of any subsidized federal government money.
Oh no, you know what? I actually checked on that, and I find myself agreeing with you. I stand correct, sir. But I also at the same time found out that the U.S. government as a whole pays for the franking privileges of politicians.
Oh yes, no, I knew that. I was like, that's the job I needed, so that way I don't have to pay for anything. But the problem is you have to figure out a way to make it business related for your position as a senator, congressman, whatever.
Honestly, it's got to the point where I haven't bought a stamp now in about 20 years. I really haven't.
Squirrel, I didn't get as much fallout from that. I thought I would have got more blue check marks on me for that article I tweeted my comments back on.
You mean the one that I commented back to you on?
Yeah, and I commented back to you on that.
I did not see that.
Oh, I did.
Rude.
Bad squirrel.
Yes,
Jared, this is the post. This is the article from the Huffington Post yesterday that I found a tweet on.
Okay.
You know what? Now I gotta go check my freaking Twitter. I hate doing that.
And
unless you could actually send me a link to the thread again, if you would, Jay. That would make my life so much better.
Oh, did I share that in the yeah, I think.
Oh my god! just that opening, it's like holy. That is the wrong reason to vote for any candidate.
Yeah.
Which one? Because not Trump?
Yeah. How about you pay attention to the actual fucking candidate and whether or not they are capable of doing the job you are electing them for?
You still got your Hangout window open right there, Squirrel?
Yeah,
All right.
I think.
It's in the side chat there.
Okay. Come here, Huffbo.
Yeah,
Right.
as a matter of fact, I'll post it in here. And
First, yeah, okay, there's my post,
this is not how America's democracy is supposed to work.
which is bullshit. God damn it, Huffbo, go away. Okay. Oh, this is Huffbo we're talking about here. You honestly think they have the required level of self-reflection to even consider such a thing? Think very carefully before answering. Now I want to see what you said. Yeah, that's about what that's
Yeah.
about right, believe it or not.
I mean that. Oh, I didn't really look at anybody else's response. I didn't see. Who are those at HuffPost? Who are those two? Are they talking about you and me, Squirrel?
Yeah, they're talking about you and me.
Oh boy, are you people ever full of yourselves? Not like it or not, Trump is your. Oh, somebody on our side. Okay. Gerrymandering.
I like Nancy for that one.
Yeah.
I will agree. Gerrymandering is a thing.
Yeah, gerrymandering is a thing. Do you have any support to your other two claims?
Oh, didn't you know Detroit was preventing people from voting by locking up machines, even though the entire county is run by Democrats?
Oh, here's a better one for you. Broward County and one of the others nearby. They apparently the lady that's been running Broward County, her ass has been destroying ballots. In fact, she admitted in front of a federal court that she had in fact destroyed ballots from a live election, so that she didn't have to answer a freedom request, a freedom of information request.
Oh, where did it? I went into the Great Meme Wars and I just had to laugh.
Oh,
yeah, Rail Hun, because Jim is being Jim, and it's a picture of the X-Men cartoon from the '90s with Wolverine holding on to the picture of Jean Grey with Medicare's avatar there for Wolverine's face, and Sargon as Jean. Oh, that was great.
Wow.
Yeah, but I saw a meme somewhere else, and I can't remember where I saw it. Could it have been here?
You'd be amazed at what turns up in the Great Meme Wars. We have actually had knockdown, drag out brawls in there. Meme.
No, it was
yeah, we've had a few real good ones.
No, there was one I saw, and it might have been on the internet that I saw it, but whatever. It was about Broward County, and I can't remember where I saw it from. I might have to go do a quick search for that. I wasn't trying to get into politics, but it's just the way shows go sometimes, right?
Yes, actually, you know what? You get a bunch of vets in a room. Sooner or later, it's going to turn into nightmares, war stories, sea stories, sea tales, or politics.
Yep, that's usually how it works. Oh, and I'm not funny. Oh, what's this? LibertarianCatholic.com. This is interesting. This might be worth a look. The things I do when I should be doing my homework. All right, present to everybody. One of the best movies if you've ever worked in a cubicle farm.
Yes.
especially this scene. This scene right here speaks to most corporate places I've ever worked. So you help people defend themselves with firearms. Well, no, we feel that firearms are too dangerous for people to own. Oh god, that was. Anyways,
all right.
where did I see that? It was a pretty funny meme. It was basically the airline hijackers from 9/11 came in through Broward County. Basically a whole bunch of stuff, and then it talked about the voting recounts. Let's see here. Broward County political meme. See if that pulls it up.
All right, back in a sec, gents.
Not a problem. I'm
All
just
right.
trying to find a stupid meme.
Enjoy. Just send me a copy when you're done if I'm not back.
We won't.
Or better yet, or better yet, put it in the Great Meme Wars. That'll be even better.
Oh, this one's pretty funny too, but a little too on the nose. What the absolute... I'm just going to share the screen really quick, but I'm not going to click on the image. I want you to take a guess at which one is the one I'm Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
I'm thinking top row left.
Yeah, that one was pretty I thought it'd be pretty obvious, but you know.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and its automatic picture title is Amazing Leadership.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I love when the gun issue comes up and they talk about new legislation and everything, and I just ask one question: how many of these mass shootings that you're all butthurt over were committed by the legal owner of the firearms obtained through legal means?
Who the heck is this supposed to be?
And generally, there's a bit of silence that follows.
Oh no, did you see my tweet about how I don't like the passing of I-639 here?
I did.
Okay, I'll pull that up in a minute. But one of the great quotes from a movie that probably does not deserve much more airtime.
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up my Twitter here really quick. This guy is trying to argue with me about how the passage of that bill, which I would probably say venture anywhere from 75 to 99.99999% of the initiative was already in law here in the state of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Is how do I want to put it? He's trying to argue that it was a good thing. Anyways, let's see here. Man, I was busy this week. Oh, I even shared Andy on Twitter. Wow, that's interesting. All right, where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Is this it? Let me see the replies. Oh, yes, it is. All right, here we go. Squirrel even jumped in on this one because I shared him the link. I think I figured you'd be busy at school.
Yeah, 7 a.m. your time. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Yeah. And I didn't notice this till the next morning, so I was like, oh, yeah, well, that's fine if you're quite pleased by that, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think I even commented in this one.
I don't know if you did or not, but if you did, great. Your faith in the future is garbage. You sound like people that were against raising the minimum wage in Seattle. Now look, Seatown thriving, baby. Common sense won this time. Well, yes, the economy is slightly booming. I'm waiting for that bubble to pop.
Oh yeah, it's going to, because minimum wage hikes generally, when they stick around, end up causing similar raises in the cost of living.
Yeah. The whole point of having a minimum wage is technically to have a livable minimum wage that you can afford to support yourself and basically a spouse off of. However, that's not what it means anymore.
Yeah,
So,
it's an entry level pay for an entry level job, a no skill job.
yep. And then, I bring up Chicago because it's true. Chicago has some of the strictest gun laws and has some of the highest gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty great deflection on my point to him in the previous one. Then Squirrel got involved. Yeah, and then I corrected myself here because I said vocal majority and I meant minority. But anyone trained in the use of the weapon properly and the use of deadly force understands what police are doing on the job, and those that haven't are the ones that are advocating for 940, which is a lot of more BS, but
no.
I swear there was more to it than this. But anyways, he basically goes on to continue to espouse my point that it doesn't matter, or that with all these gun laws, you're not stopping the actual issue. You're actually doing the harm by your community by not allowing them to defend themselves.
Yeah.
What did I share from Renting Monkey and not remember what I'm sharing? Oh, I remember. This is another one though. But where's Main Gun when I need to raise his blood pressure? Because when you see this would make his blood pressure boil. So let's see if it'll pull up. So this is the original tweet that this person replied to that Ranting Monkey shared that I shared.
Yeah.
And she's voting. And then we'll go back and click on this again. Let it load up. I'll trip her goofy ass and her fit trash. Yeah. And then Monkey's like, you're a fucking degenerate. I hope bad things happen to you.
Wow.
He's such a great guy. I was sharing with Jared our Twitter thread with our self-proclaimed libtard.
What, is he trying to take it back, or is he just a dick?
I don't know. Are you talking about this one?
The libtard.
Oh, the libtard? Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a libtard. Although, if you didn't get a chance to watch Weibo's video today, you should really go look at it and wait till the end of the show. She started a PO box. I think she might have regretted that decision at one point during the stream, during her recording of it.
Oh.
Somebody sent her something, request a signature, and forgot to put a return address. But I think she can make some very good use out of that.
Okay, my question is it the size of my forearm plus fist?
It's a good size.
Oh, and the title. Holy shit.
What?
That totally happened.
Yeah. Oh, I did share it today, didn't I? Yeah, I did like it. So the whole premise of her core video is the people who are like that totally happened, where like I'm wearing my what's her name? The black lady that's a huge MAGA supporter.
Tree of Logic.
Huh?
Tree of Logic.
No, Candace Owens.
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about the YouTuber Tree of Logic.
No. I was talking about Candace Owens. She's talking about how she's on a plane and she's wearing her MAGA hat, and some lady came up to her and said, basically, "You appall me, blah blah blah. How can you betray your race, blah blah blah," type of thing, and how people share those types of stories on Facebook and Twitter. And
yeah, that's nothing new.
Yeah, and that's kind of her whole take on it, is like, you guys are idiots if you're, I can't say that they're fake, but I can't say that I believe them either, type of thing. And then at the end of the video, it's, I don't think she would mind, and I'm not even worried about monetization at this point. So, how about we share that?
Go for it.
I won't even play the sound. We'll just get to the point. Let's see here. Nope, that's not it. It's
that. Yeah, I'm playing it at double speed trying to find it.
It's right.
Oh, I think I found it. She's laughing. Yep.
Nope, that's not it.
It's 19. Go to the 19-minute mark.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Oh man, that's
wait.
Oh no! Go back and watch. You see her reaction right as she opens the box.
Right here. I might go back in and tweak my description now to add. And we share Weibo's personal side that she shared with everybody else. I would agree with you on that, Resist.
Somebody went there. That's what that face says. Somebody went. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, listening to the audio and it makes it so much better though.
Oh yes, because I have this going. I have it muted, and I was letting it play at double speed, and I saw her go back laughing like that. I'm like, oh, that must be it. I see something come out, and I'm like, yep, there it is.
Yeah. She also goes on to try Vegemite, by the way. Let's see here. I think that's right about here.
Somebody sent her a can of Vegemite.
Oh no! Somebody from Australia sent her a whole bunch of treats, like Turkish delight and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Right here.
You see, here's the thing: if I opened up a mailbox, it we'd probably find preset explosives in it.
Oh wait, she's in Indiana.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, seriously. I thought about putting together a PO box, and then decided that the way some of my opinions tend to.
Here we go.
Easily offended. I probably wind up with shrapnel-inducing objects in there, and I don't know that I want to do that.
Hold on.
Wait. I have to share this part because I kept watching after as she's going through the rest of what's in that box.
Oh yeah, I know. Go ahead and
just read that card that came with it.
Oh, I did.
Take a look. Take a look, squirrel.
Often, yes. I don't. You know what? Somebody actually. Speaking of that kind of thing, I had someone demand to know what my pronouns were. And I looked at her and I said, "Master."
Let's see.
And she blinked a couple times and swallowed it.
Let me know if you can hear this. If it's too loud.
It's leaking. You see that? That's the Vegemite.
Ooh, leaky Vegemite. The look on that face.
Am I supposed to eat it like this? I mean, it's not. I don't know if I don't think I like this.
Have a good night, Resist.
Proudly made in Australia since 1923. Well, Australia, there's one thing you don't have to be proud of. I'll save the rest of these for later.
Oh, that was great.
The look on that face when she took the taste. Like, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Vegemite tends to be an acquired taste.
It very much is. My my old high school librarian who became a teacher at my old high school retired not this last school year, but the school year before that. Her new husband is from Australia. They got married just either before or just after I graduated from high school. But yep, I'm thinking about calling the stream anyway. So, what do you guys think? I've been going for over 2 hours.
Yeah, I gotta get some sleep.
Yeah, I actually need to round up the kidlets to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I gotta take out the garbage for garbage tomorrow.
At least try.
And maybe I'll get this written plan writing plan started.
Ooh, writing plans.
Oh yeah, that's that document I shared with you earlier.
Yeah, I saw it. See here. Do you want to know why most of my English teachers hated me for being a smartass? They'd tell me to do that shit, and I wouldn't do it. And then where's your writing plan? I'd sit down at my desk, write up something real quick, and hand it to them. And oh man, here's one for you. Just as a quick parting shot, I did the ultimate in smartassery at my 12th grade teacher, for English lit. It's supposed to be college prep lit, and it really wasn't. We spent most of that time covering very old poetry. And she did early in the semester. She did a whole thing on epic poetry, a whole section. It was like almost a month on epic poetry, and she told us that there was no such thing as an American epic. And I said, "Okay,
what?
Yeah, no, actually, she's referring specifically to poetry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Similar things. We're not talking about novels. We're talking about epic poetry. And that actually has a very clear definition. So what I did was I went looking, and I spent several days in several libraries looking for a reference to an American written epic poem. Didn't find one, because at that time she was correct. But she had also said that if someone could show her an American epic poem, that they would get an A for the entire year. So I sat down with my little pencil, and I looked very carefully over the definition that was in the book for what an epic poem was. And I spent the next 2 weeks writing one.
Oh,
that's one way to do it.
Another week, putting together the money to have it bound. I had it printed and bound, and I took it to her. I said, I found one. Okay, I got an epic poem for you. And she takes this thing and says, "This looks like it was just printed." I said, "Well, yeah, you got to get them new." She flips it open. She looks at them. She starts flipping through, and you can see her get red in the face. Pissed. I said, "Okay," and she says, "Okay, I have never seen this poem. Who wrote this?" And everybody's looking at me, and I blinked at her twice and said, "Well, I did." And how does this qualify? I'm an American. That's an epic poem.
That's exactly what you asked for.
That's exactly what you asked for. And she kicked me out of class that day. She didn't let me back in for 2 more days. and then she flunked me for the first term.
Just so you wouldn't have an A for the year.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would. She did. She flat out flunked me. She just straight up flunked me. Oh man. Yeah. The book in question, from what I have been told, was burned. It was destroyed. I never got it back, which is unfortunate because I don't have another copy now. Of course, that's been, God, it's almost 30 years ago now.
I was going to say it's been over 18 for me. Actually, it's really funny is all the school hopping I did in Aberdeen, I have a lot of friends at the Aberdeen High School, but I didn't graduate from there. I graduated from Wichita Valley, which is not even part of the Aberdeen School District. We're our own separate district. Even though all our mail is considered Aberdeen and or Hoquiam, depending on which side of the ridge crest between the two river valleys there.
Yeah, no.
But I'm being invited to Aberdeen's 20th high school reunion. I'm just like,
why?
Well, again, it's because of how many friends I have there. And they're all people that were the semi-popular kids, you know, the main clique, but I never really hung out with. I just knew them as young kids, and that's when we were friends. So they're all like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I remember you." Blah blah blah. Hey, you're gonna come to this, right? I'm like, maybe.
Why?
Depends on what my school is doing. I'm trying to convince them to just kind of make it like a whole harbor thing, or you know, like Aberdeen, Hoquiam, and Wichita all combined. So, but
well, good luck with that.
I graduated with 10 other people. We can't really rent out a place, you know, for us.
Actually, believe it or not, this is going to sound absolutely sad, but a fair chunk of my graduating class has already dropped dead.
Half of mine's in jail. Well, let me rephrase that. Half of my graduating class, if you count Aberdeen and Wichita combined, half of them have been to jail at least once.
Oh, jeez.
And that's all since graduation.
20 years to do that to you.
Well, I had an awkward moment at work the other night. I want to say it was Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. Lady comes in, and you know, I work for a local major chain that's semi-nationwide out here in Washington, and on our registers, when people put in their savings card information, it pops up with a name, and I saw the last name. I'm like, oh, do you have any friends or family down in Aberdeen area? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I just saw the last name, and I know these two. I went to school with these two guys, and she's like, yeah, the second one's my ex-husband. Oh, and she's like, yeah, he's been in and out of jail, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh god. And I just kept inserting foot into mouth with every comment I made, like trying to backtrack from what I said previously, and she knew I wasn't trying to be mean or anything, but I think she enjoyed the little bit of uncomfortableness she caused me.
Sigh. Don't you hate it?
All right, well,